the good leader must be a good communicator. 70% corporate leaders or corporate managers consume their time in doing routine activities. Everything of something, you should have one clear domain and master in that domain. That fear of failure is a very important subject in corporate. There will not be conventional industry or factory working hereafter.
Welcome to the second episode of IndoXchange. So what makes a good leader? Is it discipline? Is it resilience? Is it better decision making? Well, it's all of them. And eventually we all start somewhere small and then we grow bigger. And that's where we comes the stage where we start leading teams. So there are tough decisions that has to be made, tough tasks that has to be executed during this journey. And during all this, our resilience is an armor against the setbacks and our discipline keeps us committed, right? So today we have Mr. Manoj Khaladkar, who is currently a training placement officer at Army Institute of Technology. He has a very vast experience, close to around 31 years of experience. And I mean, very Nathan needs, but I would really want to highlight a few of them. One would be that he has received an Excellence in Placement Award by Data Quest. He also has a letter of commendation by General Officer Commanding in Chief of Southern Command, Army. So that's a few of them that I could remember. And I mean, sir, please, over to you. Welcome to the podcast, sir. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, great. Thank you for the wonderful initiative, and it's a great initiative, and this is definitely to bridge the skill back and for setting the context of what exactly industry wants from fresher.
Yeah.
Actually, a key point, almost from last 30-40 years we are talking about it, and still it's a great matter of discussion,
right.
And still it is a burning issue. So it's really great to see and having interaction with you.
Thank you so much, sir. So to quickly start our podcast, I would want you to share about yourself to our viewers out there who are listening to us very keenly, that how has your journey been in this 37 odd years, how you have been, what has your journey into, where all you have been, and what all have you achieved as a leader.
Good afternoon. I don't know whether the term, whatever you explain about the leadership or a perfect leader or the great leader, whether it suits me or not. I'm just a small person in this journey. But very honestly and briefly, I can talk about myself. That I come from the rural background because my town is very near to Pune.
Yeah.
And I studied there almost till standard at 10th, 11th. And one good point is starting from very small qualities which leaders require is if you are born and brought at a rural background, it gives you flexibility, adaptability, courage, and also matching to different situations. So fortunately I was in a rural area, so I got all those skills inherently, so no extra efforts I could put there.
Right.
After that, then after completion of engineering, I work in an industry called Electronica Machine Tools.
All right, sir.
And that industry was a very good industry. I learned a lot there. After working for around 5-6 years in industry, teaching was in my blood because my parents were teachers, both mother and father. So I had that inherent inclination toward teaching, and I constantly another first quality of a leader, ask question to yourself always. So that asking question to myself was a good journey and good introspection, and then I realized that I should go and I should teach in the college. So then I switched my career from industry to academia, and I start teaching in a polytechnic.
Right, sir.
It was a Bharati Vidyapit Polytechnic in 1997-98. Then after spending 3-4 years, I decided to switch to degree engineering college. Again, fantastic journey from semiconductor, device set, materials, teaching those subjects and jumping to design, then circuit and field theory, VLSI, digital design. So that was a completely altogether a different
story. That's what
fortunately I had some industrial experience, so I could give a justice to my job. And then a point come in my life where I realized that I remain in teaching, I may become saturated.
Correct.
Because giving respect to all academicians in India and to academic world, rather engineering world. After certain years, if you do not do anything special in teaching, it becomes monotonous, and that is a threat or a risk in the teaching. You should constantly do research, publish the paper, not for the sake of PhD. Okay, it's a sake for your own upliftment, for self-development. And then I realized there is a one strong field which was emerging at that time.
Right, sir.
And that field was a training and placement officer.
Right.
This is the the post, or this was the turning point in my life where I decided to switch from teaching to training and placement. And then in Rajarshi Shahu College of Engineering at JSPM in 2006-07, I switched my career from teaching to training and placement, and that was a real start of my journey.
All right.
So that was something which was very amazing, and because I realized that I have seen industry, I have seen academia. Now I know both the sides of the table.
What else? Like you mentioned your complete career, like you just mentioned, it looks like a complete tapestry of learning. Definitely one of the important aspects. Growing. When I say growing is not about financially, but growing skill wise, learning new aspects, like when you changed from industry to teaching, probably that teaching is where you need to have one of the most effective form of skill, that is effective communication, which is one of the major aspects currently in the industry, right? And even in the teaching aspect. Now, when you move down to training and placement officer, that's another way of handling so many expectations, right? So without wasting a time, like a leader like yourself, I would have a very simple question to you to start off with. And it is, what makes a good leader in industry or a corporate setting?
Very good question. It requires some minutes to explain that.
Yeah.
Basically, if we see our Indian freedom movement, okay, we have seen a great leaders.
Yeah.
Starting from Veer Savarkar, then Mahatma Gandhi ji, we have seen Pandit Nehru and all. So we have, it's a chain of good leaders, and India is really fortunate to have such leaders.
And that too in a
Keeping
democracy.
all the differences of opinion apart, okay, we are really fortunate to have such series of leaders for us. Now, when it comes to corporate, what happens when you are ruling India, when you are ruling the country, the qualities are different.
Right.
In corporate, there is a different set of different set of people, different set of expectations, different set of challenges. There are 4-5 different points which I would like to mention. First is, the good leader must be a good communicator. That is the first point. If you are not a good communicator, if you are not able to convince the people, if you are not able to share your ideas effectively with team, you cannot be a good leader. Number one. Number two, leader actually doesn't talk. Okay, a leader walks through the series of course or series of life.
Absolutely.
Like Gandhiji did. Like, take example of Dandi Yatra. Okay. He gave the example with his action. So
Right.
leader is not something dictating the term. Leader is the person who should do the things first.
Correct.
And then set the examples. That
Right.
is another quality. Third, because I come from the army background, or I am representing in Army Institute of Technology, there is one famous slogan of one brigadier that if you want to run the race of say 10 kilometers, okay, do not run with your legs. Run with your mind. So that,
Mindset.
the mind stability and the toughness of a mind is the another quality which is required for the leader.
Mindset.
Understanding situation is also another good quality of leader. Because as a TPO, there are a lot of situations. Means TPO is a very, very, a challenging field, challenging role, because you are in hookah world. It's so vulnerable, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. Every day the job situations are changing, market is changing, students are coming to you, you are dealing with n number of students. How to deal with the situation? And I remembered Napoleon Bonaparte.
Yes,
yeah, he used to do the exercise of brain mapping. Means even if a war is not going on, he used to simulate the conditions. Ki the enemy can come from this side, the weather can be like this, it can be a rainy season.
Training with your stimulus, so that even at the worst point of time,
yes,
you can
and
actually
leader
come up with the best
today, today everything is going well in the industry or in the corporate. But as a corporate leader, you should have that frame of mind and you should think 2-3 years ahead of the situation. Otherwise, unfortunately, we know some of the leaders or corporate leaders in India, their businesses were going very nicely at some point of time and today they are nowhere.
Yep.
So it can happen to anyone. And leader is a leader, whether you are in corporate, whether you are in academia, whether you are in this field.
Right, sir.
And that is something which is, there are 4 or 5 different, you can say, basic points of leader.
Yeah. So, I mean, just to summarize, sir, just correct me if I'm wrong, right? I was actually noting it down when we were talking. So, for my viewers out there, like sir mentioned, it is about leading from the front, having one of the top of the line communications, correct? It is about having actionable mindset, a mindset that is very strong, that wants to 100% deliver always. It is about situational awareness. It is about brain mapping, like sir said, from the mindset of Napoleon Bonaparte, and you should be future oriented. Now, when we connect all of this together, sir, right? Let's imagine that there's a leader who has probably in the span of 10 years or 15 years of his life has accumulated all these aspects, right? Now, there are day-to-day tasks that he needs to delegate. There are productivity and efficiency issues that every manager is dealing in 2024, probably from various industries, and they are dealing with this. So how do you suggest as a leader that they can prioritize and delegate tasks to their teams to optimize their efficiency and productivity better?
A simple thing, not a rocket science. First, the corporate leader or a corporate manager, what he should do is to plan the day perfectly.
Right, so
Planning a day is not a simple task.
Correct.
When you are going to the office, a basic thing, all the leaders, or rather, I am not very, a senior person to make a comment, but as it's a podcast going on and it's a flow of ideas going on. So our basic mistake is that 70% corporate leaders or corporate managers consume their time in doing routine activities, routine tasks. Okay, there are some tasks which are value add. There are some tasks which are futuristics. There are some tasks which needs counseling, talking to your team. There are some tasks where the another business perceptions will come into the picture. And it's a basic mistake. A TPO does this mistake. Corporate leader, corporate manager, we consume 70% of our time in doing routine activities. Suppose as a TPO, I go to the office. I'll check my mails. I'll contact industries. I will write something, report something. I will plan for the campus. But at least for 40 minutes or 1 hour, am I studying about what would be the best industries coming for 2025 campus placement, for 2026 campus placement? How is market moving? Which skills are coming up? If AI ML is predominant this time, which kind of companies I should tap? This is at my level. But at a corporate leader or as a corporate manager, there are some areas, we call it as a gray area. There are some areas which are, say, hidden areas. The leader should focus on that area to explore that. That is a key point. Plan a day perfectly and give some time always for value add. And any corporate leader can easily do that. They have a lot of power. But generally what happens, we carry away with the time and challenges which are occurring in our daily routine.
Right, so we were discussing about, like you mentioned, about how they can effectively communicate and delegate tasks. So I understand those gray areas need to be addressed by any leader. Those areas which help you, attain your required goals, and that will help you plan your day better. Here at Indoman, quality plays a very important factor. We are an ISO 9001-2015 certified company. So quality is one of the major important aspects, right? So, when designing and drafts must be up to the mark for the client, they should be error free. The client should be completely confident on a piece of work that we have delivered to them. And without the need for any kind of a second editing or second form of, edition required. Why? Because so it reduces the timeline that is from project undertaken to delivered. And at our industry, it is one of the most important factors. How would you advise leaders in our industry to convey their feedback to their teams or their clients or their superiors in a way, and the most effective way, where it is taken as a feedback, but not as something in a form of criticism? Because a lot of the time, feedbacks are often considered as a criticism, which actually is not the case. Where I have seen majority of the time leaders trying to, convey or give a constructive feedback to the teammate, it comes across as a point of criticism, which is one of the major factors that we are seeing in our industry today. So how you as a leader, leading in last 37 years of your life, would, want to handle it, or would want to address it, or would want to advise to our subscribers or listeners out there?
A lot of points in one question. But yes, I represent Army Institute of Technology.
Right, so.
This is the institute which is run by Indian Army only for the wards of Army and ex-Army persons. The main difference which I could see in the other students, means my son is also civilian and I'm also coming from a civilian background. Right. But one difference which I could see in our society and army fraternity is in our society there is a lot of individualistic nature in the students.
Right.
Okay. मैं, मेरा, मेरे लिए, that part is dominant in civilian society.
I, me, myself.
Yeah. In army fraternity, because I could see it from last 14 years very closely.
It's brotherhood.
Instead of I, we is there important.
All right.
That we part come into the picture. And thanks to army environment and their education starting from army public school or Kendriya Vidyalaya or the other colleges which are in the army fraternity, the overall nurturing of a student is in teams. Even at our college, we have 15 number of different clubs and teams.
Right.
We have nature club, we have a coding club, we have open source software club, we have NSS club, we have a spiritual club. A basic thing in corporate, or rather at any level, is if you want to become a successful employee, the main thing which is required, that development of all quotients of your personality.
Right.
When I am saying all quotients of personality, that means your intellectual quotient, okay, your emotional quotient, your analytical quotient, your technical quotients, all quotients should be at its place.
Right.
Always there is a difference in different persons, but whatever points which you are now, rather the points which we are discussing, the basic thing is open mindset. And that open mindset will not generate overnight. That आज मैं बिल्कुल introvert था and I was a selfish and tomorrow Wednesday I am becoming a team person and team. No, it requires years to nurture. So for every person in corporate or rather in the society, the most important thing is that work in teams openly from school and colleges. If you are not, go back, devote your time to work in a teams, and rather in corporates you are working in teams. But that positive mindset is not there. That's why the points which you mentioned, feedback is taken as a criticism.
Yes.
Because always every person should that what is there in for me. I want to improve. I want to go ahead. I want to do something which is beneficial for me and for organization.
Right.
For that, open mindset is very, very important. And that would bring a lot of things. Because in AIT also, in Army Institute of Technology, when we are preparing the student for interviews, we are telling them, we are not giving you training for only first job. We are giving you a training for life.
Right.
That's why soft skills are very important. We generally take the term soft skills very lightly. We only think that soft skills are limited to communication skills, but they are not.
Right.
It's a problem solving skills, it's adaptability, it's a kind of the flexibility.
Right.
All these things come into picture. So my view in this is, point number 1, have an open mindset. There is always a scope of a great improvement for anyone. Okay, as per Gardner's multiple intelligence theorem, there are around 2 or 3 qualities present in every person, And this is just a matter of time to explore those qualities. And these qualities will be only explored if you are positive, if you are adaptable, and that adaptability, okay, for to nurturing that adaptability, the first and foremost point is that try to work honestly in teams. It can be a software projects, it can be activity, it can be meetings, it can be discussions. Open mindset is very, very important, and situation will groom you. But why to wait for that situation to come? Before that, if you take it positively, you will attain a great heights.
No. So I 100% agree, because I mean, even McKinsey stated that very clearly that in 2024, that 20% of executive consider their team to be high performing, and high performing team exhibit characteristics like a good leadership, collaborative problem solving, and a strong team relationship, which you exactly mentioned. So I mean, with that, I'm on the same page with you. So with that, sir, I have another form of important aspect, which is communication and teamwork, like you mentioned, right? So when a leader is leading a team, right, and how effectively can he handle conflicts and disagreements is one of the important aspects, right? And there are times when team members, I have seen personally myself, that my team members have disagreed to agreed just to reach one goal as a team together, right? But majority of the time, it is not the case. So what are the strategies that you can suggest that they can resolve these small piddly issues of having conflicts or disagreements while they all are working together as a team towards one goal?
First and foremost thing which comes into the picture is your attitude.
Oh, right. Agreed, sir. Agreed. 100%
There is a very famous proverb,
right,
that not aptitude, but your attitude will decide your altitude.
Very wise word. So can you please repeat it for our
so there is a very famous proverb, not your aptitude,
not your aptitude,
but your attitude will decide your altitude.
Wonderful.
So that is something which
fantastic.
is very important, and it is, see, all the concepts we see that at strategy at corporate, strategy at academia, strategies at students level, strategies at placement offices are very different. No, it's not different. There are some common values, like from childhood we obey some principles and values,
right?
Honesty, integrity. Okay, these qualities are, and that is the role of our parents. Actually, our parents imbibe that qualities into us. That's why we are here,
right?
Otherwise we could have been nowhere.
Absolutely.
And we see a lot of young generation wasting their time and lives for nothing. So basically your nurturing matters. Second important thing is, if your attitude is correct as a leader, the first thing is that he must be honest,
right?
If the opinion put by the leader is honest, and if it is great, and if it is genuine for the team,
right,
then automatically teammates will follow him,
right?
Take a simple example of there are a lot of the differences still in the Infosys. Okay, if you know that Infosys is one of the world's greatest organization, their team of 5-6 in which Narayan Murthy was there, Nandan Nilekani was there, Mohandas Pai was there. There were a lot of times in the discussions and deliberations when there were differences of opinions, deciding the client or deciding expansion, appointing the key post of CEO, whatever happened last 5-6 years. But at the end, everyone come to a common goal, common opinion, because whatever discussions and deliberations are going on, it was for organization. There was no personal touch to those discussions. And that is something which is very, very important. Take example of our institute. Now we are going for autonomy, academic autonomy, in which we are now not going for Pune University. We are de-affiliating from Pune University very soon, and we are becoming autonomous. Now, to take such decision about autonomy, even our director, he is a Brigadier Abhay Bhatt.
All right.
He is the director of our institute. So he has a vast experience of defense forces. He was from Corps of Signals.
All right,
so there are a lot of the differences of opinion, discussions and all. But finally, he insisted that decision. He explained the things to all of us that why the autonomy is important. And today, in next couple of months, we are getting autonomy.
Congratulations for that.
That is something these are some of the points where there are discussions, there are differences of opinion. But how you come ahead with your attitude, honesty, vision. Vision is very important. If your vision is correct and if your views are futuristics, everyone is going to obey your thoughts, obey your points, and obey your decisions. So
no, I mean, I agree with you on that. And in fact, for my viewers out there, I want to put it forward very straight that Mr. Khaladkar is not only a TPO, but he's also a certified trainer for Infosys.
Yeah. I'm the soft skill trainer of Infosys.
Soft skill trainer for Infosys, right? So with that, I have one question, which is that when majority of the leaders, when they're dealing with the young team members, they struggle with one important aspect is that their team member is not taking ownership or accountability for their work, right? Although it again runs down to mindset, that is one of the aspects, major aspects. But how can we effectively solve it through having conversations or communications? That is something that I wanted to understand as a leader yourself.
There is very, very important term. The term is called it as a fear of failure.
Fear of failure, right?
That fear of failure is a very important subject in corporate and in academia also. It is observed that around 70 to 80% employees or faculty members or students or corporate managers, they do not deliver only because of fear of failure. How to remove this fear of failure? It can be only removed with a proper training and proper freedom.
I agree.
Because I come from army background. We only see the soldiers at the front, at the war, only twice or thrice in a year. But we generally don't pay the attention for remaining 8 to 9 months what they are doing.
The hard work, the dedication, the
training. And that's why if your training is at the best, there is a less chances of a failure, less chances of a mishap. Now, taking same principle to corporate or in educational institute also, why there is a fear of failure because you are not trained enough. Number one, you have not given good exposure. Number three, if something will happen, whether it is going to affect on my job, that is a very strong fear of failure. It's a subset of fear of failure. So, leader or a corporate manager should be a good counselor. He should be a good coach, and he should give a belief to the teammates that even if there is a failure, I am with you. Automatically, it will increase the productivity of the employees, and all other things will get settled down. But for this, there must be an action plan. Again, overnight, such things will not solved.
Happen. Yes.
But yes, proper training calendar, giving exposure to them, even exposing to different clients. That is something which is very important. Again, if there are some failures happening, there must be a team of 2 or 3 which should come ahead and take the responsibility and solve the problems. So there are a lot of such things actually, but these are some basics which we are discussing.
I 100% agree, because when you just explained us, right, about your perspective on my last question, right? I mean, I 100% agree. There's no other job in India as decorated as that of an army, an army or an Indian defense forces. Now, when we talk about the resilience, their training, right? That's one of the important aspects that you highlighted. That is prevalent in army, where they are ready to do devotingly one single thing every day, until or unless they master it, right? So it's all mind game as well as the resilience and the hard work and persistence. So, we strongly believe that every employee should develop personally and professionally, both together. I just want to understand from you that what do you think about our initiative, number one, and what is additional things that you would, add to our commendations here?
Great. So, first of all, I would like to extend my sincere remarks about your initiative and your organization.
Thank you, sir.
Basically, the
Thank you so much.
tasks which you are doing, in the domains which you are working, the initiatives which you are taking, they are really, really very good.
Thank you so much.
And really helpful, not only for the engineers, it is also helpful for society and nation at a large.
Right.
Basically, as far as your organization is concerned and in the domain which you are working,
Right.
There are 3-4 points which I would like to talk about.
Sure,
First thing
please.
is that every engineer, especially in CAD domain or the manufacturing or engineering domain, is that now there will not be conventional industry or factory working hereafter. It's a time of smart factories, automation and robotics coming into the picture. All previous technologies are very fastly outplaced by AI and ML, artificial intelligence.
Absolutely,
and
they're
machine learning.
disrupting across all industry, all
industries,
vertical,
all
everywhere.
verticals. The nature of projects are getting changed. Yes. In the domain which you are working, 20 years back, the requirement of Tata Motors and Tata Technologies were different. Now their requirement is totally different. And it must be valid for your global clients also.
So on a lighter note, I mean, the Tata has progressed from Indica to Harrier with a chassis from Land Rover. So.
Right. So the things are changing very fast.
Yeah.
The expectations are changing.
Absolutely.
And see, as far as your CAD domain is concerned,
correct,
you are one of the domains of many basic domains of engineering or a smart factory. Now in smart factories or a modern factories, your knowledge about not only design but your knowledge about all other things. Take an example of EV, electric vehicles. After 10 years, you will not find a conventional car on the road.
Right.
It's a EV which is dominant and
correct,
they are ruling. Already they have started ruling the world. But after 10 years, you will find all smart factories, smart robots, EVs, even a conventional, the industry working even in a core area like heat transfer or a chemical factory. They will have all add-ons of what you say, not only a design point of view, operation point of view, business point of view. The nature of industry is going to change. And that is why the initiatives taken by you are really, really good.
Thank you.
Take
you
example
so much
of this podcast. You must be taking the interviews of the other eminent personalities from this industry, and they are not only talking about the jobs which they are carrying out as a placement officer.
Right.
Take a very simple example. Now hereafter you require, or rather we require the engineer which will follow the structure like a English letter T. T means the horizontal line which indicates the knowledge of different fields, and one vertical line indicates in-depth knowledge about your domain.
Wonderfully.
So that T kind of a personality, that T kind of a what you say, the overall grooming of an engineer. So what is knowledge after all? Knowledge is nothing but what you say, something of everything and everything of something. Okay, so that is something which is called as knowledge, and that is clearly resembling with my T. Okay, everything of something. You should have one clear domain and master in that domain, and if you follow that T, automatically the point which you explain, creating a leader, grooming a manager, these things will automatically happen.
Right, I agree with you. I mean, there's nothing good. This could not be better explained than with the concept of a T. T for not time pass, but T for knowing the knowledge detailed, right? Detailed knowledge and across all the verticals. Right. So, with on the closing end, I had one question. So we had a very insightful discussion here, and there's one question that was just you're just hitting me when you were just answering my last question, which is that how can you foster a small habit of self and continuous learning and development and improvement within a person in a company to help him grow, and indirectly which will help organization grow? Because we are doing that already, but what your expertise would suggest, that how can you inculcate in these upcoming generation, or that one person who has just joined the job?
That habit of continuous learning, unfortunately, means please don't take it in other way.
No.
Unfortunately, the habit of continuous learning is not very oftenly seen in the academia. Okay, what happens in if you see Indian educational institutes, any faculty or any professor, once he get a PhD, okay, the natural zeal and
Right.
inclination of self-learning and self-improvement gets diminished.
I agree.
That is not his fault. It's the fault of a system. Okay. But in industry, it is not the case. That's why industry is always has a better chance of continuous learning as far as the employees are concerned. Now, to inculcate the habit of continuous learning, okay, one very famous, example which was given by Osho, Acharya Rajneesh.
Right.
Osho. He used to tell that always try to go one step ahead. In anything which you are doing, if you are engineer, if you are a designer, if you are say the broadcast person, if you are a student or a teacher, always try to do something extra, because if you will keep on doing something extra and even if you will not get a success, you will remain at that level. But if you will not do anything, it is bound to happen that you are going down.
I agree. I mean,
If you remain there, stagnancy is like somebody is pulling you.
Right.
And that things should be nurtured and trained, and it will not come again overnight. You must take the sessions of employees or students or faculty member to inculcate that habit of continuous learning. Today, I am a training and placement officer. Now, today I have a list of 70 industries visiting me. I should always think that which 15 industries are not coming to me. That not coming to me sense of that feeling should always be in my mind. Then I will try to get connected through LinkedIn, through my contacts, through my different referrals. That yes, say for example, BNY is not coming to my campus. Why?
What is the reason behind?
What is the reason? Same is your industry. Now you have 10 different clients globally. Why these 3 industries are not our clients? So that thing, and that will automatically, and you take it, see, passion. In academia, PhD is the philosophy of doctorate. But in industry, the term PhD is P for passion, H for honesty, and D for discipline. If you follow this PhD in industry, okay, and rather at any industry, okay, everything will be good.
Thank you, sir. I mean, those are wonderful, watchful thoughts given by our guest today. And I mean, nothing more to add. I mean, so I would 100% agree, because no learning is a bad learning and every learning is a form of learning. With that, I mean, I would want to say thank you so much to Mr. Khaladkar for sparing time and our viewers there. So with that, thank you, sir. It was great having you on board.
Always welcome.
And
thank you.
Please, we would request you to subscribe and like our channel. Thank you so much. This is your host, Ripudaman, signing off. Take care.